What's going on, YouTube? So last time I made a video going over this build I have created, stolen from Peeve, and I said in that last video that I wasn't finished yet. There was a lot of weapons that I wanted to add to the build, weapons that were necessary for invasions like this one. I had some weapons picked out, and I wanted to try them out just to see how they would be. This invasion, like, there's no enemies, there's like nothing to help me out in any way, shape, or form. Just a, you know, the world is dead. Now, I'm not saying these two are like, you know, oh, they're the worst, look at what they've done. They might have just been making progress, but there's not a lot to progress here. So once that's finished, let's just go to the boss. But then if an invader shows up and they're like, oh, well, let's kill this guy, you know, it's like, why not? You've got it pretty well under control, right? In this sort of situation, without a weapon specifically designed for, like, okay, get me out of this situation, I'm just kind of relying on the mercy of Night Maiden's Mist as a way to surprise people with damage that they didn't know was there. It's basically like a teammate for me. It's just damage that hangs out behind them, and they don't know it's there, and then I'm going to try and force them back into it, and that's how you win. But that is not a that's not something that's going to work every time, or even a lot of the time. So we needed a weapon. So I went and I got the Naga Kiva, and I put Stormcaller on it, and I really wish I could just use the Stormcaller axe, because that would just melt people. This doesn't melt people. It does make them leave me alone, though, and that's enough. You know, that's enough. Once the build is left alone, worst case scenario, hopefully it can just, like, run away, you know. In situations like this where there's nowhere to run away to, you're just going to have to kind of hope that Stormcaller takes care of everything. And it's doing a pretty good job. But like I said, if I had the strength to use the axe, and keep in mind I could two-hand the axe. The axe with the Stormcaller Ash of War is just absolutely bonkers. I might still do that and just put the two-handed back on there. I have no idea why that lance did no damage at all, because this dude turns around and hits me with it again, and it does real damage. So I have no idea why that happened. I don't know what that was. But, strange. Strange. Unless he needed some sort of, like, talisman swap. But I have a hard time believing that. That somebody comes in with a lance and doesn't have the talismans on to use it. But I don't know. I don't know what other explanation there could be. But yeah, so we've got Stormcaller on the Naga Kiva. For the range, the damage is okay. I was kind of hoping it would still, you know, maybe get like good bleed build up, but that's not necessarily the case. But anyway, if you don't know about this build, if you didn't see the other video I made, it's a sneaky build. It makes use of the bow in a way that is not light rolling and just, you know, jumping up and down over and over again. This build is a build that Peeve made. It's very similar to a build that Peeve made. And it really gives bows a chance to shine. But it's an invasion build. You know, it's not intended for duels. But these people who do this, they don't know that. They don't understand. They have no idea what's going on. Just the world's YouTube viewers. You know what I mean? Like, they see a YouTube video and they're like, okay, so if I want to have duels with people who are also using the build they saw on YouTube, I need to go to the lake. I mean, I guess occasionally, but you're also going to run into people like me who are not at all spec'd out for this type of thing. And so if I beat you, it is you should be deeply ashamed. You know, it's a spear. It's not the best spear, but it's fine. And we've got Bloodhound Step, which is a Dark Souls 2 backstep. It's a backstep with iframes. And everybody was mad at Bloodhound Step, and I understand why, but it's also capable of being awesome. It's literally just a Dark Souls 2 backstep. It has iframes. You can just backstep away and then attack and counterattack. It's beautiful. should you choose to play it beautifully. We've also got an Estoc on this build for that old Estoc and Whip, which is nice. The old Estoc and Whip is something I used to use back in Dark Souls 3, but the roles were reversed here. The Estoc was in the offhand and the Whip was in the main hand. This guy is a little laggy, so I've decided I'll replace the Estoc with the Misericord, which has a really, really good running attack. The running heavy attack is really good. It breaks poise. It won't break hyper armor, but it'll break poise, and you know, it can keep people moving, which is nice. But in order for them to move, they have to actually take the damage, which this guy's internet connection is granting him a buff. He only takes damage half the time. It's fine, it happens. The Misericord also gets us just an insane critical on a backstab or a guard break, and with Royal Knight's Resolve, the running heavy attack damage becomes real, and you know, the guard break potential becomes real, on top of having you know, just absolutely brutal critical damage. It's hard to get, like, the Estoc is really good, but I'm looking through these clips that I've uploaded, and it's like, it's really hard to get Estoc footage in Invasions. I'm gonna have to, like, go out of my way to remember to equip the Estoc. It can be difficult to remember to do that, and I'll explain why. It's not because of any shortcomings of the Estoc. It's just that other things on this build are so much fun that I want to do them all the time. The running heavy attack is just absolutely merciless. It does decent damage, and it can, you know, stagger people, which is great. Okay, so I could switch to the Estoc right here, right? And we could use the Estoc, but I'm not going to. I'm going to switch to the straight sword for the quick step, so that I can reverse quick step, backstab, bloody slash here, because it's all I want to do. There is nothing more sneaky and roguelike than quietly dashing through your opponent's attack and then stabbing them in the back. It's like if Bloodborne had Dark Souls 3 backstabs, you know? I love it. Sneaky build. Does sneaky things. Let's be sneaky. I don't have a lot of defense. I can't take a lot of hits. You know, I've got plenty of vigor, but, like, these people are coming out of nowhere, from behind me, from in front of me. They're all over the place. It would have been a terrible idea to engage with those dudes. I could hear people fighting enemies in the dungeon, and so I was like, okay, this doesn't sound right, and then it wasn't right. The guy had went back and re-summoned one of his buddies. They follow me, thankfully. We drop down. We're sneaky. We're a sneaky build. We use the Phantom Recusant Finger. Now, there's a good chance that one of these summons, or two of these summons, is password summoned, and, you know, maybe like a higher level than me. And if that is indeed the case, me using that finger has just broken the downscaling, and those guys are going to do way more damage than they would have done had I not used that. They're also going to take less damage. But thankfully, the gambit paid off, and the sneaky lady wins again. And absolutely terrifying rivers of blood if you're an overleveled Phantom. If you know, you know. This invasion, absolutely beautiful. We're going to use the Night Maiden's Mist. We're going to force them back into it, and then just escape, and we're done. GG. Good game. I love playing sneaky. You know, it's a wonderful thing. This is actually like best case scenario Night Maiden's Mist right here. I am slowly cutting off the area behind them so that they have no choice but to move forward. They don't want to move forward, because there are 3 Kindred of Rot in this room. So they don't want to move forward, but I'm not giving them a chance to not move forward. I'm going to constantly try and cast Night Maiden's Mist, and what I want to try and do is I want to try and put it behind them. So I would like to lure them forward a little bit, and then once I've got them lured forward a little bit, cast Night Maiden's Mist. Right there, I messed up, and what I did was I didn't free aim it up high enough, and I should have moved forward and free aimed it high. So I've just put it in front of me. They were able to retreat back to the same spot that they had been. But if they're just going to retreat, I can back up, I can crouch, now I'm invisible, and, you know, just take pot shots at them with the bow. So we'll get back in here and we'll try it again. A much better cast of Night Maiden's Mist, right behind the Phantom there. And now that he's come forward, the host will come forward, right? They're going to sort of move as a unit. And if he backs up like he's doing right now, not only is he taking damage, but his host is getting the snot beat out of him, right? And now that he sees this, okay, he has to do something. We can kind of keep this going right here. Like they realize that this is kind of safe. The Kindred of Rot won't come this far out. I still want to lure them in a little bit closer. We've poisoned the Phantom, so he's backed off to do Flame Cleanse Me. And then we place another Night Maiden's Mist behind them, which is now further in front. And if they don't want to take that damage, they're going to have to move a little bit more forward. And we are just sort of like systematically cutting the level off from them. And now that Night Maiden's Mist is gone, we have to stand here and wave our hands and dance and, you know, keep their attention. That was a greedy go-to cast right there, but if it had worked, it would have been beautiful. And then they give me all the time I need. I really, really want to reverse quick step, backstab that Moonveil. That's all I'm thinking about. This would have been an invasion where like the Astok would have been fine right here, while we're dealing with 2 guys. But all I can think about, all I want is a reverse quick step backstab versus Moonveil, because that's like the most fun thing in the world to do. Also, I guess keep in mind, one of these guys are going to fight a Falling Star Beast, and while it's not as bad as it used to be, because the Falling Star Beast in this dungeon used to be a fully grown Falling Star Beast, and they nerfed it, and now it's just like a regular Falling Star Beast. I have no idea what this guy's doing. I guess he's in his inventory looking for something, but it does, you know what I mean? Like, it's not gonna work. Anyway, they might be trying to like save their flasks for the actual fight. Maybe that's what he was doing in his inventory. He was looking for a warming stone or some other method of healing. So there we go. Let's get this. Most people who use Moonveil just spam the Ash of War over and over again. This guy, not doing that. He does like to use it, but he doesn't just spam it, which is clever. That's the way you should use it. But the allure, the sweet allure of the transient moonlight, too much to resist, and eventually he gives in, and then we get our YouTube clip. This is a fun one with a backstab that you will see occasionally. This is a roll, punish, backstab, but you can only do this if your opponent is out of stamina, I think. I have no way to check and see what my opponent's stamina bar is like. But if they're out of stamina... Actually, looking at that one, we went for the backstab, and he started to turn around. If he might not have had 0 stamina. He might have just stopped, which was, you know, he stopped to turn around and hit me or something, that's what gave me the time. But if you do a roll and you are out of stamina on that roll and someone is behind you, they can backstab you pretty easily because the stamina deficit lasts long enough for the backstab to grab you before you can do anything about it. You can't roll again anyway. And I've got a bear directly behind me, like one of the rune bears, big monster bear. And I'm hoping that the big monster bear, it's growling and it's like, roar, I'm behind you. And that's all cool, but I'm not going to turn around and look because I'm trying to, you know, not die. Trying to not get hit by 2 people at once. One of those dudes swinging Reduvia blood stuff. So I'm hoping the bear is like an active participant. And there he is. And now that I've been hit, the Phantom is like, oh boy, the dinner bell rings. It's time for me to get absolutely destroyed by a bear. I love that the Phantom saw me get hit and was like, now I can fight. And look at that. Oh, look at that. It's just beautiful. We love that. We love to see that. That's why we continue to come to SaintRiot.com on YouTube. Until next time. Later, y'all.